Hi, I'm John Joseph, and I'm here to address you're having a loved one with an addiction. When you have a loved one with a severe addiction, not just going out on weekends, I'm talking severe addiction. Maybe you see that they're not working anymore. Their life is just drugs and alcohol, and you've lost them. Say maybe they're out on the street a lot. We're talking about a severe addiction, a heroin addiction, a crack cocaine addiction, somebody that is just so heavily into drinking that it's tailspin their life and you don't know what to do. The first thing I'm going to tell you is it's going to take a lot more patience. Um, it's not going to happen overnight. And you got to watch your temper and you got to watch that you're not judgmental with them. You got to show them love, but you also don't want to enable them. But then again, you don't want them living out in the streets somewhere. So, I mean, you want to give them a bed if they need it, but you feel you've lost them at this point. But you love them and you've got to tolerate them. How do you get them clean? It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience. They got to be ready. You can't yell at them. Um, you can't hound them all the time. Hey, quit drink. Come on, you got to quit. What is it? We know you're doing drug. They'll run out of your house. Okay, they'll go sleep in the street as long as they can have their addiction. Their mind is unbalanced. Mind is unquiet. They need something. They need something to calm their mind. And you're not going to stop them by yelling at them. The best thing that you can possibly do is just be patient with them and wait for some type of a low to happen in their life. They may get in trouble with the law. They may have a car accident. Um, they might have a near overdose. These are things that'll bring them to the reality of what they face and that they have to change. Um, you have to be very, very careful that you let them know that you're not only their family member, this could be a close friend of yours. You got to let them know that you are their friend and you're going to always be there for them. The best time to talk with them is not when they come in the house and they're feeling all good and you're like all depressed because you know they're going back out and they're not going to come back for 2 days. The best thing that you can do is wait for times when you see that they're down and they're low and they're depressed. Maybe they've been binging for the last 5 days and they come in and you could just see they're in terrible shape. Don't start preaching on them. The best thing you do is you just start saying, listen, I love you. And you know what's going on and we both know what's going on. I just wish maybe you would think about, getting some help, but you gotta be easy on them. You can be hard on them with tough love, where you don't enable them and you're giving them money all the time for them to go using. But it's going to take time and it may very well take years. This one friend that I worked with, trying to help her get clean, it was on and off for almost 20 years. And, the periods of time where she went clean, it was a crack addiction, was when she had a baby and the baby was born with drugs in the system. And I'll tell you, she stayed clean for about 3 years. And then on and off, she had problems. Temporarily would lose the kid, so on and so forth, get it back. That 3 year period of time, she just totally changed because the system was forcing her. Sometimes the system getting involved is good. I remember when I was trying to get her clean. Remember when a friend of hers stole a car and he dumped it somewhere? She went in the car and just took it for a spin around the block. And like a dummy, cops seen her. And she wound up going to prison for, it was like a 24-month sentence. She served 18 months. When I heard she was in prison, oh, the relief that come over me, and this is what'll happen to you. I was glad because you know what? I knew for 18 months she was going to be clean. Her body was going to, you know, uh, recuperate. So it takes time. It really does. You got to wait for them to hit a low. You got to wait for them to be ready. If they're not going to be ready, you're not going to force them to be ready. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you that. You could start finding friends or past friends of theirs that had addiction problems and maybe get them to talk with them. But you got to kind of do it easy. I mean, you can do it with a bit of force in pushing these people into their life, but you can't harp on them. You can't get down on them. Sadly, it does take patience. And I'll tell you, when somebody gets clean, I remember this one woman that I was helping her. I remember, she was clean like 5 months. I remember taking her to the grocery store to buy her groceries. And, a couple of times she went down a different aisle than I did. And I'm thinking, okay, where'd she go? Where'd she go? I lost her. She's out there. She ran out. She probably ran out to get drugs again. And you start, the trust is not fully built yet. Just like your loved one now that's using them and got a severe addiction. I mean, they might be okay for a day or two, or maybe they're in the house for a week and you notice they seem to be fine. But in the back of your mind, every time they walk out that door, they could say, I'm going to get cigarettes, going to get some lunch meat. You can give them money and say, go on, get yourself cigarettes. I'll buy them for you. And go on and get me some meat and get me some other stuff. We're going to cook dinner. And boom, half an hour, 2 hours. They don't come back. Now you don't see them for 3 days. They ran off and they blew your money. That happens all the time. Well, when they get clean, and they could be clean 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, all of a sudden, that's always going to be in your mind until they've built that trust up back with you. You'll feel you trust them and you might give them money to go to the store, but the second they leave, you're thinking, what did I do? What did I do? Are they coming back? I know what you're going through, but you gotta be patient. You gotta hit them when they got lows, when they're depressed. It's the best time you can talk with them and just try to confide in them. There's no other ways to do it. Um, you can look into rehab centers, and that the state has a lot of rehab centers if you're poor, if you're broke. And you don't have to worry about money. They've got a lot of good rehab centers. Call the social service center in your state, and they'll help you. Just tell them you got somebody with an addiction and you need to get them into treatment. But the best thing I'm telling you and letting you know, you've got to be patient. Patience is very, very important, and it's hard to say that. I mean, you very well are probably going to go years dealing with the situation. So um, I'm going to have a lot of self-help videos on here. We're going to help guide you. Got a book coming out, Treating Addiction, Recovery from Alcohol and Drug Addiction. I've read over 350 books on alcoholism, drug addiction, recovery, psychological disorders, all severe addictions. There's a psychological disorder that it's based, and that's uh, what you got to understand. I'll help you. I'll help you through my website, through the Facebook. I've just been getting the Facebook up, and you can contact me through the Facebook. You can contact me through YouTube, and I'll walk you through a lot of things. I'm going to be loading a lot of videos on a lot of different subjects, a lot of questions people have been asking me, emailing me, a lot of questions that I know you need to be answered. I'm going to answer these questions from you, and I'm going to walk you through it. Um, I spent 23 years studying addiction, and I'm a recovered alcoholic. I drank from the age of 15 to the age of 29 and a half. And I mean, I was near gutter. Okay. And I've had close people that I know and family members with issues, and I understand it. And I can give you the answers. I have the answers for you. I can even help you diagnose a psychological disorder if whatever your family member or friend may have. You can email me. I'll talk with you. I'll take time. I've got so much time in my day, but then there's a lot of time that I don't know if I can give you 100% fully. But you'd be surprised. You send me 5 or 10 emails. You detail what you're experiencing, what your loved one's experiencing. You watch. I'll open the world up to you. I'll open your mind up, and you will understand what their issue is. Now you got to reduce their addictive pull. That's the thing. You could tell somebody every reason why they're addicted, and then they understand it and they see it. But you know what? It's a process to getting there. to reducing the unquietness in the mind, to treating psychological disorders, to treating environmental issues that aren't easy to deal with. So there's a lot here, and I'll help you. So, thank you. I'm here for you.